What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
Oh boy, it's the weekend.
It's the and it couldn't have come slow enough. This week in the news, we've got some bad news out of WWE. A brand new Clayface trailer, an old Assassin's Creed made new again, and Xbox is back, maybe? But Skyler, before we get into all that, of course, what's been going on with you this week?
I'm gonna give you the quick rundown.
Cool.
I finished my jury duty.
Right.
That's done. I am caught up on The Boys. I am not caught up on Daredevil. I am not caught up on Survivor.
You chose the wrong one to be caught up on, let me tell you.
I played a little bit of a video game this week.
It's impossible. You've never played a video game in your life.
And it's a video game that I had absolutely no interest in.
Okay.
I played like 2 hours of Pragmata.
For what possible earthly reason would you play Pragmata?
So there was a little news story going around that was like, "Whoa, check it out! Pragmata has sold like 1 million copies already."
Sure.
And I posted in a group chat that we're both in. I was like, "Hey, why? And if anybody actually plays this, can you tell me if it's good and worth it?" And then our mutual friend Christian, who we've mentioned before on this program, he hits me up a couple days ago and he's like, "Hey, I am gonna get Pragmata. Do you want to play it?" And I was like, "Well, no. I mean, I want to hang out." So he was like, "Bet." And so he got it and came to my house and then just handed me the controller and said, "Play it." And I was like, "Okay." And it's okay. It's fine.
I don't doubt that it's like a good game. I just I cannot imagine you specifically.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, I immediately, upon learning what this game was, I was like, this is gonna attract the wrong kind of attention. And as far as I can tell, it has.
Okay.
Without going into how awful the internet is, you could piece those puzzle pieces together, I'm sure. But I was playing it, and I'm like, this is Who Framed Roger Rabbit with a little anime girl and the most boring white guy in a most generic video game spacesuit ever. It's fine, I guess. I don't know. I didn't play very far into it. Maybe it gets better, maybe it gets worse. But I'm just here to tell you that a game came out in 2026, and for some reason I played it. So there you go.
That's pretty good. Yeah, if I remember right, the reviews for it were all pretty kind of all over the place, actually. So for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, I'm not the one that spent $70 on it, so
true.
Maybe me saying it's fine is easier.
Right. You didn't have to.
No, I had zero stakes.
Yeah,
0 stakes.
Well, hey, anything else you did this week?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Also,
not even like one thing.
Oh, are you referring to Wrestlemania?
Not even like one thing that you did for 2 days or the entire weekend last weekend?
That's true. That did happen. Sorry, my cat is outside my door screaming.
Which one?
And I don't know if it's Django.
The fat one.
Yes, the fattest one.
I can't hear it, so you're probably fine.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let him go. Don't cut any of that out. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, true. WrestleMania did happen. Let's talk about that, I suppose.
There was a Mania.
Did watch it. It's 2 nights, as people who watch wrestling will know now. It was okay. It did not feel like WrestleMania. It did not feel important. It did not feel like a big major show. With the exception of probably the main event, that did feel big. That was probably the only match that felt Mania worthy. And even a couple of matches that, like, on paper looked like, oh, cool, that's a cool Mania match. It wasn't executed very well. Like Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vakir.
Yeah.
on paper you're like, all right, I'm down for that match, and on paper I'm happy with the outcome of that match, but just the execution was like, oh, that was short and it just ended. So I don't know. It was there's a lot of that kind of stuff at Mania. Very I don't. It just didn't feel like the grandest stage of them all. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some. There were some good moments. I think the Danhausen bit's real good, and I did like Roman Reigns taking out the trash, but the definitely some interesting sort of booking decisions, I would say. Like for example, the one to have the Bella twins still kind of win the tag titles, but not really, but then put it on a returning page
Yeah, I mean
instead
that's
of just
that
putting it on any of the other tag teams and letting them win it again like next week or something when her foot's better.
that has to be an audible in the sense of like, oh, we don't know, we need a moment, and then Paige returning and winning a title is a moment, but at the expense of making sense, really. Yeah, because like the only reason to bother putting these tag titles, which WWE doesn't care about, let's get that clear.
No, yeah. They don't care
WWE,
about any of the tag titles, but the women's one
no,
somehow less.
they have never cared about the women's tag titles since their conception. And so the only reason to bother putting them on a Bella Twin is to say, look, the Bella Twins were tag champions. That's great. I mean, they're already in the Hall of Fame, so really, who gives
Right.
a shit?
Which
But
there
but
is
they're just like,
value in. Like I understand why they would want to do that. But
if anything, it elevates the titles more than it would the Bella Twins, right?
yeah, I mean they're
But
effectively retired.
but then Nikki Bella breaks her whole fucking foot off.
She did,
I guess
from the report it was
she's
everything
like
except broken. It was like torn,
she's like
sprained, twisted.
I she I snapped it, I tore it, I twisted it, I burned it, I bopped it, all of it.
Pull it.
And then they were like, well, we got Paige. I imagine they were probably gonna have Paige show up on the Raw after Mania,
Most likely. Yeah.
because that's where big things happen. And then they just decided, well, we can't. She's kind of friends with the Bellas. Let's just do it now. And so now, what you have is another instance of a team that's not really a team winning the titles meant for a team, which
Right.
it's not just a WWE problem. Other places do that,
Sure, sure.
but it's one of my peeves in wrestling. Like it can happen every once in a while. Like these two are just really strong, so they make teamwork happen. But team chemistry should be more important than it is in tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
ISO Speed was there. He did a big jump.
I Show Speed did a big jump. George Kittle drank like 40 beers.
Oh, can I just say he might have been my MVP of the weekend.
No, come on.
Every
Now, come on
time
now.
the camera found George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers in the crowd, he would down his beer. God bless him. He took Tyrese Halliburton's beer. Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers, or at least he was when he had a leg that worked.
Oops.
Um, uh, yeah. Jameer Gibbs was in the crowd with his awful back tattoo.
But we couldn't see it. We still don't
We
know
couldn't
for
see
sure if
it.
it's real. It could be
We couldn't
fake.
see.
Hold on hope on that one.
I don't think it's fake, but okay. Um, uh, yeah, a lot of trying to think. The ladder match was fun. The
That
IC ladder match with like half the luchadors in existence in it.
right.
That was
Well,
fun.
at least half the luchadors in main roster WWE, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they all wore
Um,
red, so that at a distance they were almost impossible to tell apart, which was really
that
helpful.
that was funny. That was a good prank on us.
On specifically like Steven, who does not really know them. It was like, who?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, just if I was one of the people that spent like $2,000 for cheap seat tickets at this year's WrestleMania, either one or both nights, I would not feel justified in that purchase.
No. Well, but you got double counted in the stats, so that's something.
That's true. That's true. To calculate the attendance number, they just assume that everybody in attendance is pregnant, and they just double
True.
double up.
True.
But hey, congratulations, Bianca Belair. As soon as you came out in that big ass fluffy coat, I was like, she's hiding something,
She's
and she
definitely
was.
pregnant.
She
Yeah, and
was.
then Montez Ford like showed up on Raw, and I was like, shouldn't you be helping with something?
What's he gonna do? He don't have it. He's gotta make the money.
Is he doing that?
I don't know. Who knows? He didn't get cut. He didn't get cut like everybody else.
That's fair. I suppose that's true. Well, my week has been uh slightly more eventful, but like not necessarily in great ways.
Uh-huh.
I'm following in your footsteps
Hmm.
by getting sick. So this
Yeah.
week I was very sick,
Yeah.
and was like throwing up big time starting
Yeah.
at
That
like 1
that.
a.m. on Wednesday.
But see, yeah, I didn't do that, so you didn't get it from me. You got it from someone more evil than me.
I I don't know. I think it was you. I think it was you.
I did. I didn't. Nothing came. I didn't throw up. I didn't diarrhea. None of that was me. It was. It was just. It was like all sore throat,
A
and
unlikely
that's.
story.
But no, it
uh,
wasn't me.
but yeah, so basically that really cut down on like my ability to really do anything like
Hmm.
noteworthy this week.
Of course.
So I like honestly most of Wednesday I could not really like even move much
Mm.
cuz it was like if I twisted in certain ways, then it twisted my stomach and then I threw up and that was fun.
Oh.
Uh and then like on Thursday when I was starting to like try and recover, I was so dehydrated that at one point I was trying to eat some crackers and
Yeah.
my mouth was so dry that I could not like produce the saliva necessary to fully chew the crackers. So I had to like drink water with the crackers to
Yeah.
enable myself to
Yeah.
swallow said crackers. It was a fucking mess. It was an absolute shit show, which is how I have always described my body, but this week especially. Um, but I did manage to watch a couple of things. One of the shows I watched actually before I even got sick, and I put on an episode of it at your house some fucking I think Saturday of Wrestlemania after the show. And it's a really stupid fucking like anime from this season. That's like a
Yeah.
reboot of Samurai Troopers, the '80s
Right.
show that if anyone actually remembers from the '80s would have remembered it as Ronin. Was it Ronin Warriors? I think it was just it was one of those like Saturday morning cartoon type ones
Uh huh.
for
Uh
us
huh.
anyway, where it was like kind of on the same level as like a I don't know a fucking Street Sharks or something. And
Sure.
they for some reason decided to reboot it, where it's like also a sequel where like the cast of the original show has gone missing and then they've been replaced and then the replacements have now gotten replaced again and this is the third generation. Really weird show. Only like 12 episodes, goes real fast. Don't necessarily recommend it, but it was fun. So there was
Yeah.
that.
I had left the room and then returned by the time that you guys had decided to put that on, and I just didn't question anything that was happening. And having not watched the old original one and just watching one episode of this, it's interesting.
No, yeah, I mean I hadn't watched the original one either. To my knowledge, the only person that we know who did was Steven.
Yeah.
So I did not recognize any of the callbacks. Although it was pretty clear when it was a callback because they'd be like, "Oh, it was the guy. That's the original guy," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Hmm. Hmm.
I did also watch just the first episode of a show that I don't know if I'm gonna finish, called The Madison. Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay, this is one of the newer, I think the newest of the like Taylor Sheridan shows. So Taylor Sheridan is a sort of more local, I guess, filmmaker. He's one of the guys who like actually films around us. So whenever you see like a casting call for extras or whatever, it's probably a Taylor Sheridan
Yeah.
project. Um,
Right. Yes.
he's best known for like Yellowstone and Landman, Lioness, and now this. It has a crazy fucking cast. It's got so the main character is Michelle Pfeiffer and her husband Kurt Russell, which and this is true of like pretty much all of Taylor Sheridan stuff. Is he gets a handful of really big name people to be like, look, this is the
Uh-huh.
reason you should watch this, and then it works and people do. I have not watched any of his other shows, so I don't know if they're good, but I know people say that they're good around here. And I don't know if that's local bias or if the show is actually good.
It could be either, to be completely
Could
honest.
go either way. Other big name that shows up in it, Matthew Fox from Lost, and of course
Oh,
Party of
from
Five. So
Lost.
that's pretty cool.
And Speed Racer.
Sure. Yeah, movie I definitely watched. Um, the only reason I decided to watch it was because a friend of mine worked on it. A guy who I used to work with at a old retail store.
Hmm.
He was a PA on the show, and so I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'll give it a shot." And I have a lot of positives to say about it, despite the fact that
Hmm.
I said I might not finish it, probably won't finish it.
Hmm.
Actually,
Hmm.
is I think it's a really interesting story. So it's like Michelle Pfeiffer is in mourning after spoilers, I guess. It's like the first scene of the show, but Kurt Russell and Matthew Fox both die in a plane crash.
Oh, damn.
And they're still in the rest of the show, but just as like flashbacks. So they're still in all 6 episodes according to IMDb. But they've been dead the whole time. And but Michelle Pfeiffer's the main character, and the supporting cast are her 2 daughters and one of her daughter's 2 daughters, and then like a guy from Suits that no one really cares about, but he's also there. So it's an
Okay.
almost entirely woman cast, which is cool. It's great, except that it's also becomes very clear very fast from the writing, in particular the dialogue writing, that it was written by just Taylor Sheridan by himself, a
Oh.
conservative white man.
Uh.
And so, like, one of the daughters is like, a liberal character, and she is written to be the stupidest fucking blundering moron on the planet,
Mm.
because of course she is, because that's what we
Hmm.
do here. Um, and so it's like, I wouldn't say that like necessarily ruins the show, but it does come up like roughly every 20 minutes in the show. There's something that happens where you're like, oh yeah, that's Taylor Sheridan thinks that means something, and it doesn't. But it's shot really well and it's acted really well, which I think does elevate the really bad writing, frankly. But you give a bad script to Michelle Pfeiffer, she's gonna make it work to some extent. So
Okay.
there is
Okay.
that going with it. I want to give him credit for shooting it well. Granted, the entire thing is shot in Montana, so God kind of took care of the cinematography on that one for him, as far as I'm concerned.
Huh.
um, but man, it's just such like a show of two halves for me, where I'm like, there's so much about this where I'm like, yeah, I could see this winning an award for like cinematography or even like leading actors. I 100% I could see that, no problem. But if anybody even nominated this fucker for like screenplay or like anything that involved the writing of the show, get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of
Okay.
here. It's bad.
Okay. Okay.
Like there's a bit where in the first episode, there's a bit where Michelle Pfeiffer, when they still live in New York, because Kurt Russell dies in Montana, but the family lives in New York. Um, she's like at a dinner with the whole family minus him, and everyone's on their phone, and so she goes on this big tirade about like, oh, you fucking millennials and your phone, like basically that kind of shit. Uh,
Oh.
and then she leaves and like ironically, I think takes a phone call, and then comes back. Uh, and she like demands that one of her daughter's husbands speak to her, basically, and she's like forcing him to tell her about his day, and he's like genuinely excited about it, but it's like work shit. And she's like, oh, so your day was really boring and sucked, like, and she just doesn't give a fuck. And I'm like, okay, well so let him be on his fucking phone then. Like, you asked for this conversation, bitch. I don't know what you fucking thought
Yeah.
this was gonna be. Ridiculous, actually
Many
ridiculous.
such cases.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure it's a thing that a real person would do, but not a good real
Uh-huh.
person. But hey, that was my week, was throwing up and then being like subtweeted by Taylor Sheridan. How are you? How you doing?
Uh, we're we're bouncing back.
We're we're doing great. How about it? Hey, but in the world of news, maybe not such a great first story here. So, as
Mm.
we mentioned, WrestleMania happened, which means it is that time of year again where they fire all the people that they don't have an immediate idea of what to do with, or at least a lot of them. And this year's crop is arguably one of the more irritating lists in the last couple of years, at least in recent memory.
I mean, yeah. As
It's pretty
wrestling
bad.
fans, as wrestling fans, we always hate when this happens.
Sure, absolutely.
Um, it's never good, even when there's names that you understand. Like, yeah, they weren't doing anything with them. Yeah, I can see that's talent that wasn't working out. Whatever. It's still you hate to see it happen, of course. But then every once in a while, you get a crop like this that it's like you're telling me you couldn't figure out how to make any of these people work.
Any of these people, some of whom were in the middle
Eh,
of active storylines.
yeah, yeah. Some of whom you were making work, and you just decided we're done.
Some interesting choices made. Let me run through the list real fast. You can cut in whenever
Please,
you get offended. I think it's going to
please.
start right here at the first one. So the first one's Kairi Sane.
Bullshit.
It's so dumb. I
Bullshit.
don't remember. She had left the company before at some point. I don't remember if she had got let go
Yeah.
or if she like
No.
left of her
I
own
don't
accord or whatever.
I don't
Um,
think she was ever like officially like we're releasing Kyrie Sane. They just kind of stopped using her. She was in like an ambassador capacity, I believe, and then she was doing I don't believe wrestling, but she was doing work in Japan for other stuff.
right.
And then she came back, and whenever she's been main roster in WWE, they've never been like this is the girl, but she's consistently been very entertaining
She's always
all
been
the
good.
time.
She's got great character work. She's a good
Yeah.
performer in ring. The
Her
only like thing that you could put against her is like, well, she doesn't speak English very well because she's a Japanese native. English is her like probably second or third language. So
Sure.
she can't. She's not like great on a promo, but you also have like a fucking ton of other people who don't speak English. So clearly that's not an issue for you. Um, so so what the fuck actually?
It's just a release like that screams, well, we just didn't want to pay her anymore.
Yeah. If she wants to continue wrestling, which she is a little bit older, I guess she could move on to something else or just retire or whatever.
Yeah.
She will find work very quickly in like Stardom or fucking New Japan or something. Like it
She could do,
in a
yeah,
second.
Storm.
You
Yeah.
know. I don't necessarily see her as a TNA person, but I think pretty much anywhere else would take her.
Uh, it balls in her court as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, she's one of my favorite, all-time favorite wrestlers,
Yeah.
especially women's wrestlers.
Mhm.
So I hope that she's not done. But speaking of people that I really like, Aleister Black also released alongside his wife
Bullshit.
Zelina Vega.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Once again, this is
Zelina Vega.
how.
I think both of them released now for the second time
Ye- Uh,
because Zelina Vega got released and then rehired. Aleister
oh
Black
yeah,
got
yeah,
released,
yeah.
went to AEW, and then came back.
Bullshit.
She's
How
like,
are you telling me?
uh,
Okay, we'll start with Zelina.
yeah,
Zelina's solid. She's never been like S tier in as far as like in ring stuff,
no, she's not
but
like a main eventer.
as a manager, a mid card wrestler, like she won the mid card title and everything. She's always been super solid and fun to see. I like Zelina a lot.
She's a really dependable worker, a very easy person to slot into a story, and yet,
WWE's inability or downright refusal to make Aleister Black work
since
is
NXT.
the most confusing thing to my little pea brain. How are you fucking this up again?
It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. I really hope that these people don't have the 90-day no complete or no compete. I'm sure that they do because I feel like they
I'm
always
sure that they
fucking do.
do.
But Brody King's on like a push right now. Like I don't
Yeah.
necessarily see Aleister Black going back to AEW, but if he
I
did,
I don't
um,
know. I don't remember, or I don't think we ever found out the reason why he
I just
left AEW to begin with to go back to WWE, other than to be able to work with his wife and then get
probably
WWE money.
probably
I
get
don't
paid
know. I
more.
don't hold that against him,
No, I
especially
mean,
at the time, like, oh, Triple H is in charge, and when he ran NXT, Aleister Black was a big dog, so why assume that they're just gonna shit the bed? Oh,
mm-hmm.
they did though.
Oh,
But yeah, again, his AEW run was
Pretty
he
good.
was dripping in aura, and he just never broke past the tag or trios scene.
Yeah,
And
well, because House of
that's
Black was like,
yeah,
that was the
yeah.
thing, right? So
I just has wrestling in general grown past, I'm not going to say the need, but the usability of paranormal characters.
no, no, not at all.
Then why can't they work?
Because the people writing in WWE in particular just absolutely refuse to like do anything fun anymore, unless it's Danhausen, I guess, right now until they get bored of him.
And well, okay, Danhausen, I'm gonna say is an exception because I think he can just actually curse people. Because since he cursed Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, the Knicks have not won.
And fuck him, I guess.
I
So,
mean, that's we have very particular reasons to find that funny, but um, I I'm gonna take Danhausen aside because we're gonna say he's comedy first, paranormal after,
mhm.
um, and can actually curse people for real. But like decades of people being down with the Undertaker, and then they kept screwing up Bray Wyatt. They screwed up the Fiend. Still Bray
We'll get
Wyatt.
to
They
we'll get to the other
screwed
thing.
up Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
They can't make Aleister Black work.
There's a part of me that wonders though if that's a TKO thing. If TKO is like, oh well, we're like a sport thing, like we're MMA and shit. Like we don't want to have these interesting, different characters here. We just want to have, people who look like they can for sure do an actual fight. We do anything else about them secondary. Does not matter. We don't want like characters with gimmicks. We want
Yeah, that's what
fighters.
that's what wrestling desperately needs right now is for you to strip away the pageantry.
The fun of it. Yeah. So yeah, but if Alistair were to go back to AEW, which I don't know, I'm like 50-50 on whether or not he would even bother. Because I'm sure
Yeah,
he could get a job anywhere else too. He's very talented. He could be huge in New Japan tomorrow. He could be big in TNA tomorrow. Like he
yeah.
really does have any number of options. Um, but if he did go back, Brody King is more popular now than he's ever been. Buddy Murphy's about to make a return from his injury. So like House of Black is like they're still there. They're about to. I don't know if Buddy was already being scheduled to like do a thing with Brody when he gets back, but
Yeah,
who
I don't
knows?
know.
And then like
No,
Julia Hart and her evil witch coven. One of them's the fucking women's champion right now. So like they're
true,
doing stuff. Like we're
true.
the House of Black like is continuing to persist without him. So if he went back, I don't know, but there's probably a story to tell there about like, hey, where the fuck did you go for like less than a year? It feels like.
He could
Um,
be. He could easily be Ring of Honor champion and hold it for like 6 straight years. You know what I mean?
he could be. I mean, honestly, if he went back to AEW, I wouldn't even be surprised if he could be like the heavyweight champion right now. Because like Darby Allin's the champion right now, and I love
That's
Darby
true.
Allin, but
That's
like
true.
what that says is that we're willing to give more people shots in this moment, right? I mean,
What that
he's
what
a fighting champion. He just
what
went up
that
against Tommaso. He's going against Brody, I think, this week.
what that says is my prediction of Will Ospreay winning at Wembley is in danger of just not fucking happening.
Well, he'll win something for sure. It just might not be the big boy.
It needs to be the big boy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, who else got cut? How let's get more depressed.
Those are maybe the like biggest names, but there's some other like really disappointing ones in here. There is, of course, everyone's favorite name to say, Santos Escobar.
Oh yeah, he got cut.
He got cut. I believe he was still part of LWO,
Who knows?
probably.
Who knows? But that got sidelined so hard. They sidelined a lot of their actual like Latin American stars for two fake Latin American stars.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Also, they just bought a whole lucha like show. You're telling
At least
me was
at
Santos
least
doing
Triple
stuff
A
over there? Maybe.
at least AAA still does like their own, you know, premium live events and stuff, right? That's
Yeah,
still
they're
happening. They're still showcasing people in that way.
yeah.
And I believe Santos and LWO were talents that were being like the WWE side of that crossover on those events. Yes, like how Dirty Dom was also still is the AAA champion.
Yeah, well, and isn't I don't know, I don't even know if the rest of LWO's members still work there. I know Carlito got let go a while ago.
Yeah, I gonna be honest, I can't remember who all was in the current iteration of LWO. I don't have that in front of me. I don't remember.
It's yeah, there were a lot of people in it, which makes it even harder to keep in mind. Um,
Zelina was in it.
Zelina was in it, and she had that huge pop in Puerto Rico, and I guess that didn't matter. That was a market we decided to not continue to care about after that one time. So, oops. But hey, speaking of recent, like extremely recent hires at WWE immediately getting let go, they've dropped the Motor City Machine Guns.
Dude,
I
again,
don't get it.
again, they looked at the Motor City Machine Guns and said, "We ain't got nothing for you. We don't know how to find time for you. We're gonna make Logan Paul a tag champion. We're gonna have the Usos in the scene every fucking day, but we're not gonna bother to try to make the Motor City Machine Guns work." I guess when we look back in history, we can say they were here. We can say they won the tag champs. That's it.
The current tag
So
champs,
happy for them in that regard, I guess.
yeah, the current tag champs are the Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory,
Hmm.
and I don't know who has the other ones, but like you couldn't think of a story about like, oh, there's these two like hard nosed, Motor City guys who don't take kindly to these two like Zoomer dickheads. Like you couldn't write a story about that real fast. I don't even know who the Vision is like up against in their story right now, but you couldn't find a way to get somebody else going on in a story. It's ridiculous, especially when you just hired them. Like they were hired this year, well, within 12 months. Not this year, I guess, but still.
Oh. Here's why you don't remember who the other tag champs are. Damian Priest and R-Truth.
Oh, one of those just we have two guys tag teams.
We have two guys.
Sure, man, works for me. I guess. Um, then we start getting into sort of the more like mid card area. We've dropped Apollo Cruz for I believe the second, maybe third time.
I didn't even see his name on the list.
Yeah, he got dropped. They dropped Andre Chase, who was the ringleader of Chase U in NXT, which was apparently a big deal. I don't watch NXT. They dropped Zoe Stark coming right off the back of an injury. So I guess they were like, oh, we can't use her. She's hurt. And she's like, I'm not. And they're like, oops.
Yeah.
They got rid of Alba Fire despite her being in an active storyline with Chelsea Green.
Yeah, we're using her.
So oops. And then they got rid of the entirety of the Wyatt Six. All of them. All five of them.
That that straight pisses me off, man.
It's really upsetting. They created this team in the wake of Bray Wyatt's death as like a way to sort of honor him and carry on that idea. They
Uh-huh.
fucked it up for however long. People were really not happy with what they were doing with him. First, they were almost doing too much, but not actually anything, and then they just stopped. And now they have fired every single one of them. And I don't really get it. I really don't. But I assume it's the same thing as why they got rid of Aleister Black. And I really think it's just TKO just does not want gimmick characters anymore. I think that they're taking, we know that they have a certain level of creative control. I don't know if it's 100% or whatever. But I think they're looking at, these gimmick characters and they're going like, I just don't buy the pig mask guys, good in a fight or whatever. Which is crazy, but
It's just it really feels like WWE had we met the contractually obligated amount of time we were supposed to care that Bray Wyatt died, and now that it's over, we're just gonna fire them all.
yeah, honestly,
That's how it feels. That's
that
what it
is,
reads.
I'm sure that's not literally what it is, but that is exactly how it feels. Just to get it out there, the Wyatt Six members are Uncle Howdy / Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, and Joe Gacy. The thing about them getting let go is like I don't even know if they're going to transfer to a different promotion as a team, or if it's like, okay,
Oh,
well, everyone go
definitely
find
not.
their own jobs. You know what I mean?
Definitely
Because
not.
I don't think you can do like, hey, the Wyatt Six are in AEW. Like, I don't know if that works, right?
No, 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 no. Well, before he came back as Rowan, he was wrestling as Eric Redbeard. And he obviously he showed up in AEW for that one Brody Lee tribute thing.
He was there once or twice for
He was just
sure.
doing stuff wherever he bouncing around. Nikki Cross is, we always say like just because you're married to someone doesn't mean that's where you're going, but she is married to Big Damo, formerly Killian Dane.
Right. Who's
And he's
somewhere.
wrestling in, oh God, is it
I
MLW
don't
or
know.
something?
It's
I don't
something
remember.
something over in England. I know that, but I don't remember the name of it.
Sorry for not remembering Damo, but yeah, he's doing something, so she could easily go join him. She could, I could see out of all of them, I could see Nikki Cross making an appearance in AEW.
She's weirdly being, that she's not the headliner of that group. She might be the biggest name in it. Um
I think that is true, and I think that she's the most versatile.
she's very good. I also think there are legs for Dexter Loomis somewhere. I don't know what they
Hmm.
are. I think his new look
Hmm.
with the dreads is very like
He's gonna.
grabbing. Like you could market that easy.
Oh, that's funny because I think that he's gonna lop those off
Oh,
now that he's
probably.
not.
Probably. But I also think, I think his character design right now is a lot more interesting than it was when he was just like the NXT serial
Mhm.
killer guy who hid under the ring and wanted to make out with that one lady, uh,
Indy Hartwell, who
who is
is,
also fired in the last wave of this, I think.
I think she's in TNA. So if they wanted to
Probably.
run back a partnership between them, he could go over there. Which I think he did when, because he got released before.
Probably. I feel like a lot of these people have. So
It's weird, man.
yeah, I don't know why you would get fired from a company and then go back within like a year, without going somewhere else, which is what a lot of them did. Maybe it's just, good work, I guess, but need a
I mean, if
paycheck.
the catering is good and the money is clearing, then sure, why not?
Sure, fuck it, I guess. And then there's a couple other names on here that are pretty much all developmental names, so it's nothing that we can really like comment on too much, but
Yeah, of
just
course.
people who kind of, I guess, didn't work out in the system for one reason or another. But they are Tyra May Steele, who I think is an Olympian, if I'm not mistaken. I saw a picture of her holding an Olympic gold medal, so I do think she is one of those like we hired a person who
Yeah.
won an actual thing. Sierra Linton, Tyson DuPont, Tyreek Igua, Chris Island, Malik Blade, Trill London, Luca Crucifino, and then Dante Chen. I don't think was released, but he just left.
I don't know.
But like his announcement of him having departed the company was like in the middle of like has been released on fight on
Hmm.
a Son Ross Apps thing. So I was like, I'll throw him in there. But yeah, hey, it's that time of year again. They do this every year. It's always upsetting. It's always upsetting. We hope that all these people find work that they care about very quickly and that they
Yeah.
aren't completely pinned down by that bullshit 90-day compete, no compete, which is technically illegal. But, when has that ever stopped anybody?
Yeah. So much for being an independent contractor.
Yeah. But hey, let's talk about something that's slightly less horrible,
Okay.
although still very horror. We got the first teaser
Oh.
trailer for Clayface.
Hey.
And it doesn't really tell us a ton other than, visual style and that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Looks really good, looks really gross.
Hmm.
Was not something I needed to see while actively throwing up
Mm.
this week. But movie looks real good. I don't know what you thought about it, but pretty
I'm
excited.
immediately hooked.
That doesn't
Immediately
surprise me.
sold.
You're a big gore guy, so that doesn't surprise me.
I like horror. I like body horror. I like gore. Um and this, I think this just looks visually awesome, and I'm totally sold on this. We were like already giving basically every DC thing in this new era of the DCU. We are giving everything the benefit of the doubt. Like, yeah, well, let's see. Um, although we get a little sassy and skeptical sometimes, when it's just like, really, why are we
Right.
doing that? Why are we doing that instead?
And it's still a very weird choice, for
That's
sure.
still we're. I'm fully in a point, if I wasn't already before, where it's like, as an individual project, hell yeah, I'm there, I'm down. The fact that we have to, and I think I even said this maybe last week, the fact that we have to connect this somehow to a Superman project or a Batman in a universe, and
Yeah.
God, that gives me a
Although
headache.
James Gunn did come out and say that this takes place before Superman, so I don't know how much connective shit will be in this.
To which I think, James, just shush. Shush. Just
Yeah,
stop. I don't care.
it's I understand why you would say that. Is I think that you know you're establishing at some point theoretically an older Batman, and so if you're establishing a Batman villain, you probably want to be like, oh, but this was a while ago. Like he's already fought this guy at least once. We don't know, by the way, if I or at least I don't remember if they gave Clayface a name in Creature Commandos. I don't know if this is the same fucking Clayface. There are multiple in the comics, so it might not even be the same fucking guy.
All right,
Um,
let's spitball that for a second,
but
since
it's
we're
either
forced
way,
to
it's a
play in this
mess. I'm
universe sandbox.
as of this moment, I'm taking Creature Commandos out of canon in my mind. I'm just throwing that shit away. Fuck that. It's too messy. You know, it's already bullshit. You know, you threw Clayface in there, and then someone was like, "Well, I have an idea for Clayface," and they went like, "Oh fuck!" And then one of the main villains of it was Cersei, who's one of the main Wonder Woman villains. But now you have to keep in mind whenever a Wonder Woman project comes out that like she had an army of incels and got beat up by Dr. fucking Phosphorus. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I'm just scrapping Creature Commandos in my mind. That show can go fuck itself, even though it wasn't bad. It's just it
Uh,
is destructive to the concept of trying to build a universe because they just didn't seemingly give a fuck when they built it, because I think they were building it before they knew it was going to be part of this.
well, yeah, I think both Peacemaker season 2 and Creature Commandos, and probably whatever that Waller show is going to end up being. Remember that's happening.
I don't even
I think.
feel like I 100% if it's still going to come out, that one.
Oh no, we don't know anything that's going to happen. We only know Lanterns is coming,
Mm-hmm.
and Supergirl's coming out, and we got Clayface coming out, and
And honestly, that's all I need. That's all I
oh,
believe in right now.
and Man of Tomorrow,
Oh,
because it's
sure, because
filming.
that's filming. Yeah.
That's really all we have in straight up black and white. This is happening. Everything else is just conceptual as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Um, what the fuck were we talking about? Right, Clayface. Um, I don't think they ever say his name. In this, we know it's Matt Hagen in this
Right.
movie.
Who's the actor one?
Um, and I just kind of assumed, and I don't know why I did this, but when we see a big monstery Clayface in this animated thing that we're forced to know is canon, my favorite word of all time, canon. Um, that I was like, well, that might be like Basil Carlo or something, and then the other Clayface is just gonna be a different guy. Because I don't remember. I think Clayface got like not killed,
He
but
got
like
he got like super
maybe killed.
electrocuted and disintegrated into his like gooey parts. And then
Hmm.
afterwards, James Gunn put out a tweet that was like, he's not dead, and that's all we got.
Sure. Well, I forgot that James Gunn's
Yeah.
Twitter is canon.
What you have to
I
remember, yeah, is that
forgot.
James Gunn tweets are canon. You have to remember them all. You have to
Yeah.
remember everything that he
Well,
tweets. That's the only way
it's
to
like
keep up with this universe.
it's like Oda's SBS,
Yes.
except way more annoying, actually.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I don't know. Sometimes Oda says some shit like, none of the Kuja pirates wear underwear. And you're like, you didn't need to fucking say that, Oda, actually.
um, right, Clayface. Keep going off
And so
track.
Clayface.
This movie looks good. This movie looks good. I'm
It does.
definitely seated, and
Uh,
I hate universes. How about that? Can I definitively say? Can you put that on my tombstone? I hate
yeah,
universes.
I have to keep reminding you like every episode, there are other places we can write things.
No,
We
no.
cannot afford a tombstone with the of the size that requires all the things you want
Just
written on it.
give me two tombstones.
No. We can't afford that.
Give me the big from SpongeBob, the Smitty Werber Jagerman Jensen.
That
He
would
was
still
number.
not be enough space.
Well, if you go front and back, don't double space.
All right. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. I do like in this trailer you get there's like a shadowy shot of him doing a big dumb like clay club arm like from the cartoon. That's neat. I know that one of the things that we heard early on was that this version was taking inspiration from what is it, Heart of Clay or whatever the fuck from the animated
Uh,
series
feet of
Feet
clay,
of
I
Clay,
think.
whatever the two-part Clayface the thing is called in the Batman animated
Yeah,
series.
which is really
Um,
good.
Probably one of, if not the best iterations of Clayface. So I think, you know, certainly a good thing to take inspiration from.
Yeah,
So we see that shot, and then I think the shot that everyone's going to be talking about from this is when he's doing the substance thing in the bathtub, and he sort of like smears his face down and just like
yeah.
turns it into goo. Real gross, real gross. Good looking shot. Hated it to see it when I was already feeling ooky and gooky in my stomach. Real bad.
We're having a fun time.
Yeah. But hey, Sky, we may not have known whether or not Waller was canceled, but unfortunately, I do have some news about something that was canceled. Last
Whoa.
week, we speculated is what I tried to say,
Uh-huh.
and that's not a word,
Uh-huh.
but we
Uh-huh.
speculated on that guy who is Peter Parker's face model in the games of what he was working on and
Oh.
how it is almost certainly the next Spider-Man game. And I was like, it could be the Venom
Oh.
spinoff. It's not the Venom spinoff. It turns out
Oh.
the Venom spinoff has been quietly canceled in the sort of shortly after the death of Tony Todd, who of course voiced Venom.
Yeah, yeah.
This is still like largely a rumor because they never confirmed it. And there's one person in the industry, Jason Schreier, who's like, that's not true. But he said just that's not true under a post of like a bunch of shit. And so we're not 100% sure what he meant by that. And he refuses to elaborate. So it might,
And we
so,
and we have to remember it wasn't James Gunn that said it, so it wasn't
so it
canon.
wasn't canon. Yeah. Jason
Yeah.
Schreier's Twitter is not as canon as Jason, as
It's
James
just
Gunn.
James Gunn. James Gunn,
So,
yeah.
hey, you know, just to get that out there, real fast little news blurb there. The Venom game was likely canceled, but
Mm.
we'll see. So if he is
We're in a Schrodinger's Venom right
a
now.
real Schrodinger's Venom, but like probably it's just going to be Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what people want. So
Yeah, honestly. But hey, here's one of the actually kind of cool things that happened this week. We're going into the
ooh,
happy news. We're ending with two big happy
ooh,
stories. Well,
all right.
one pretty happy story and then one big happy story.
I mean, Clayface was happy. I mean, he wasn't happy, but I was
He
happy
was
to
having
see it.
he was having a bad time.
He wasn't. He was not happy. I was happy to see a
Okay.
man melt into a pile of goo.
You should seek therapy. Um, the,
I know.
so the long-awaited and long-rumored Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake, here called Resynced, has been
Wow.
officially revealed. It was the worst-kept secret in the world. Everyone knew that it existed for a very long time.
Whoa.
Um, and it looks pretty damn good. As a bona fide, like not really giving a fuck about, honestly, the Assassin's Creed series, but kind of especially Black Flag. Weirdly, I think that's one of the more popular ones. But I think people liked it for the gameplay, and I really play games mostly for the story, and its story was not good. So it didn't really do anything for me on that level, but they're saying a lot of really exciting things about it that I think are going to turn me around on it when I eventually play it, probably not at launch.
Black Flag was the one where it was like the Animus is a video game, and you're testing a video game, right? That's what that
Right.
is.
And we haven't gotten
That's
confirmation of whether or not that part's been cut out yet, but that was part of the rumors. They didn't say it in the like
yeah.
30-minute video that they put out, but I really hope it is because it was really fucking stupid. Cuz yeah, that Rogue and maybe one other all had like you're testing the video game at the not Ubisoft company that's also the Templars or some shit. And it was like, cool man, great, awesome.
That's crazy.
We just really ran out of ideas of what to do with the Animus shit after 3. So maybe you shouldn't kill
Yeah.
the fucking guy. I don't know.
Oh, well, you know.
The most obvious upgrade is, of course, the visuals. It's, you know, a game from like 2011, 2012 or some shit that is now coming out in 2026. So it's going to have a lot of improvements, and it does look pretty damn good. I don't know that it's not one that if you put it up to like all of the most amazing video games coming out today and was like, you know, compare and contrast these two things, it's not necessarily going to win 100% of those bites, but it's definitely like doing okay. A lot of the hair tech, I think in particular, looks a little rough, but the faces look great. The water looks great, which is, I mean, it's a fucking pirate game. You need the water to look great.
Mm.
All the lighting and stuff is really pretty. They're making the towns denser, which I think is a really good idea. They've also made it so that they're integrated into the map so that you don't have to go through a loading screen between being on your boat and being in the cities, which I think is going to be a really good thing. I don't remember those loading screens being annoying by any stretch of the imagination, but it will, I think, just make it feel more immersive. You know, you just park your boat and get off and then you're on the island. You know, I think that'll do a lot for people.
Yeah.
They're upgrading the combat and the stealth mechanics by basically just taking shit from the newer games and putting them in there. So, for example, like back when 4 came out, you couldn't crouch unless you were in like a bush, right? So now
Oh.
that exists. So you can just do that to do stealth better. So that's great. They've added, you know, making the combat better, making the climbing feel better, just all of these little improvements that they've learned over the following decade of putting out more and more of this same game in different locations, basically.
Yeah.
The things that have me the most excited are that they're making, I don't know if it's changes or additions, but seemingly at least additions to the story, which is very, I think, good. Because one of the things that I was most annoyed by was you get to the end of the game and there's a big cutscene where it's like, look at all these characters that you've met. And I'm like, I don't know any of these fucking people. Like, you have not done anything with these characters for 20 hours or whatever. And seemingly the people making this remake said, okay, you're right. And so one of the things that they made sure to specifically point out is they're like, we added more plot for Blackbeard, and they named like a couple of the other pirate characters. And I was like, cool, great. Yeah, that's literally exactly what I want, actually. So thank you. That's
All right.
perfect. And then one of my other big complaints was that in later Assassin's Creed games, when you do boat shit, you have like a crew. Like, you can recruit people who you actually meet throughout the world, and then they can be on your boat and they do shit. Whereas in Black Flag, you have Adewale, and that's kind of it. And then other than that, it's when your ship gets hit by a cannon that it says -1 crew member, and you go, aw, and then there's like flotsam in the water that you can run over, and it had a guy on it, I guess, and it says +1 crew member, and it's like, that doesn't feel good at all, actually. That sucks. I
You
hated
got
that.
him. You got him. That's how Luffy got his crew.
You're cool, get
Just
in.
just just suck people up out of the ocean.
He tried that a couple of times. It did not work. He asked that tree that time. Didn't work. But they're adding what they're calling officers, which are not completely correcting that problem, but I think a big step in the right direction, which is there's just different characters that you can recruit. And it seems like you can only have one on your boat at a time. So maybe they're like a replacement for Adewale, but at least like there's more of like a crew vibe. I think that'll help a lot. So I'm very excited for that. And they added pets for some reason. You can get apparently a cat or a monkey that just hangs out on the Jackdaw. That's the name of your ship. Uh, I don't know that that's, you know, a game changer for me, but it's certainly, hey, that's one more person on the ship that I actually care about. So that's something, right?
Uh,
I don't know. It comes out July 9th of this year. And I think it's gonna do pretty well. I don't know what your give a shit level for the Assassin's Creed games in general, let alone this one is, but I think it looks pretty good.
well, you know I like pirates.
Sure.
And I have played an Assassin's Creed or two, but I've been off that train for a long time.
There's a lot of them.
But if this comes out and it's better than the first one, which people already liked, I mean, I can't avoid that forever, right?
Probably
So,
not. We'll get around to it on replay
mm,
if nothing else.
75 years from
So
now.
we once were both skeletons like Brooke.
Ooh, another pirate.
Yo ho ho. But yeah, pretty excited for that. But hey, here's the big news of the week. So, as I said in the intro, Xbox is kind of back. So there's like one big story and then a couple of like little tidbits that we'll throw in throughout it. The big story is that they have dropped the price of Game Pass. We said just last week, we said
Hmm.
that Asha Sharma was saying, "Hey, the price of this is too much. What can we do to get it lower? Can we take Call of Duty out and make it cheaper?" And then that's exactly what they did. Like, like I think 2 days after that episode came out.
Hmm.
And it went into effect immediately. Like, they did not drag their ass on this at all. So they're taking Call of Duty out. New Call of Duty games will not enter Game Pass until the following holiday after they came out. And the reverse side of that is that instead of Game Pass Ultimate being $29.99, it will instead be $22.99, which is a lot better. And then PC Game Pass is dropping from $16.49, $16.50 basically, to $13.99, which not as much of a drop, but it didn't go up as
Yeah.
much when they added Call of Duty on PC anyway. Um, So that's like a huge win, frankly. Like you're dropping it about $8 for Ultimate, which is the most popular version, like tier of Game Pass, because it's it's the full one. I think that's a big deal. Like I genuinely think. I mean, we talked about this last week. I genuinely think the majority of people subscribing to Game Pass were not there for Call of Duty. I think the people who joined Game Pass for Call of Duty would have jumped in for a month and left. You know what I mean? Like they're not the ones who are staying there month after month. But then I also wonder,
Sure.
because like I also think that if you are just the kind of, because a lot of players, right? They're your ball and gun gamer. They're
Yeah.
playing a Madden and a Call of Duty every year.
Yeah.
And I don't think for that player Game Pass makes sense or ever made sense, because at that point, if you're buying Game Pass throughout the whole year so that you can have access to the multiplayer the whole year or whatever, you're spending more money than if you just bought the game.
That's more expensive than just buying.
So they're probably just already just buying the game. Um, if they're smart, which I don't fucking, who knows. So I think this kind of works out for everybody. Is the people who just want access to their streaming service, but for video, or their Netflix for video games, as Game Pass has been called a bunch
Yeah.
of times,
Yeah.
can get that for about 2/3 the price, which is a really good. I mean, in a time where every other streaming service is going up, and including Game Pass, like less than a year ago,
Uh-huh.
this is great. We love that. And I think for me personally, and seemingly a lot of the people I've talked to, the Call of Duty coming in a year later is not a problem for me. Like, do
Right.
do I want to play the Call of Duty campaigns? Kind of, but I'm willing to wait a year. Like, I'm still going to be getting one every year, right?
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
one out every year, and they've also said, or implied at least, that they're going to continue putting. There's a bunch of the like older ones that they haven't put into Game Pass yet. That apparently they're going to be adding like one at a time throughout the rest of this year is the
Yeah.
going theory right now.
That's fun.
Um, so there's certainly no no shortage of Call of Duty content for people who just want to play Game Pass.
Yeah.
Uh, assuming that you don't necessarily need to have the newest one. And frankly, I don't know that most people do. Like, I think a lot of people will obviously want to buy the new thing the second it comes out, and it's gonna sell really well. It always does. It's fucking Call of Duty. But I also think a lot of people right now, in particular, looking at just like their expenditures and shit, are probably looking at it and being like, well, I can just play the one from last year. It's only a year old. Like it's right there,
Yeah.
you know? Um, so I think
I
it's
I
pretty
think
good.
I think Game Pass is trying its best to cater to people like you and me specifically, which hey, I'm not complaining.
Works.
But people who like it gives you an access to this big library of not specific things like Call of Duty, but like other stuff. It's for people who like the hobby is to play as many games as possible instead of I'm
Right.
going to get Call of Duty and I'm going to go like triple prestige online. Like yeah, we're not doing that. I don't play the online at all even.
Right.
So like
Game Pass is
that's
for the type of player who plays a game, finishes game, moves on to the next game.
yeah.
Call of Duty is not that kind of game.
No, not well, it could be,
The
but
campaign could be, I
but
guess.
but its selling point is not that.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this has been really positively received online. There's like a handful of people who are like, "Oh, but what does this mean for like Elder Scrolls? What do they get to take their thing out? Like, can they take more first-party games out of Game Pass later?" And it's like they almost certainly won't. Game like Call of Duty is
I would
very
have
clearly
assumed
on a different level than everything else.
I would have assumed that the first thing to jump on is like, "Oh, you only took $8 off?" It's like eight
I
dollars is
mean,
$8, dude.
well, because so if you remember when they added Call of Duty and Fortnite Crew for some fucking reason, it went up $10. So
Mhm.
that extra $2 is Fortnite Crew, and honestly, that one I think still a pretty good chance that it gets removed, but I think because it's a third party like contractual thing, probably takes longer to take out. You can't just like flip a switch and be like it's gone. Um,
Yeah.
so maybe that's why that one's still in there. But I do think that one, frankly, was just as big of a misstep, maybe worse, because it's like putting your own first party thing in there, even though it's going to make the price go up. Like that does kind of make sense. Whereas it's just like, who fucking asked for this?
Hey, I wouldn't be complaining if they took it out.
Yeah, I mean it technically saves me like $2 a month, but it's fine. I think it would be better for the streaming service in the long run. Um, Asha Sharma has also made a handful of other changes at Xbox this week. Uh, she unveiled a new logo, which is just the same logo, but
This made me laugh.
it's very funny. But people are weirdly like really attaching to it in a way that I was not expecting. They're like, new logo just dropped, and it's the same Xbox logo, but it's made out of like green glass instead of the like white logo on black. It's green glass in like a void. And so people have like already jumped on it and done like all kinds of different edits and shit, which is neat and cool and whatever. But you know, I think it's just something to be like, hey, new era. Like it, I don't know that it really matters at all.
New era.
She also, they had an ID at Xbox show where they stopped showing logos for competing platforms. So at all of their more recent shows, they've been showing like Nintendo, PlayStation, like at the bottom after the end of the trailer, where they normally have like, you know, it just where it says what platforms that it's coming to. At the ID at Xbox show, they've taken those off, which sounds rude, but is also what everyone else in the industry does. So it does make sense to not necessarily advertise other platforms on your show. And one of the, what is going to sound like a very small thing, but for people who are like really in the weeds on this shit is kind of a big deal, is when I say Xbox is back, I mean that literally. So within Microsoft, the Xbox division had been renamed Microsoft Gaming for the last couple of years now. And Asha Sharma has renamed it back to the Xbox division, which is a thing that is very reassuring for a lot of people in that fan base. It tells them that the rumors of them becoming just a publisher are basically dead. There's really no way to argue that anymore, because you wouldn't be like, our publisher is Xbox. No, switching to Microsoft Gaming was the reason why those rumors started, really. Because that's an easier thing to just throw out there, you know, is we're not Xbox, we're moving away from the box. Now they're like, no, we are the box. As part of that, they've also, Asha and Matt Booty, who's the guy directly underneath her, have released sort of a 10-point list of sort of the things that I'm going to say like the tenets that they're holding onto as like things that they're looking at while they're making these changes to the division, at least in the short run. I don't know. Some of them don't seem to mean a whole lot of anything, and some of them seem to mean everything, which is like, in a way, kind of stressful, because it's like, oh man, I don't know, you're still a business. Like, it's going to be hard for you to keep these promises. But these are the things that they've said. Is one, earn every player. It feels like pretty standard shit. Just being like, yeah, okay, whatever. Protect our art. I love to hear that, especially when they own teams like Double Fine, who are very specifically like art house studios.
Okay.
Stay rebellious. That's just a Xbox thing. Ever since the beginning, they were always calling themselves like, you know, the challenger brand, the rebellious brand, like that thing, like ever since the original Xbox. And they sort of moved away from that recently. So she's bringing that back in a way that I think people enjoy. She's saying progress over perfection, which I think is great. One of the things that people have been saying a lot. It's this phrase that I just keep hearing, and I don't remember exactly where it came from, but it's been used in relation to the games industry a lot lately, which is don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Yeah. And that's been, I know it's been thrown around at PlayStation for their like, oh, we can't put out Last of Us Factions if it's not a 10 out of 10 or whatever, and then they scrap, you know, $500 million worth of work and just make no money off of it. But Xbox certainly also at fault. It's just that's the first one that comes to mind. And so I think that's a really good idea. I think if you're a company like this where you're making any kind of art, you have to take risks. And so the idea of like, we're going to continue to make things and they don't have to be perfect, I think that's an important thing to say. Signal over ceremony. I don't know what that means.
Signal over like broadcast signal, like
I couldn't tell you.
Wi-Fi.
I'm sure it means something to somebody. To me, I don't know what that one means. Core before more. This one is very clearly being like, we're focusing on Xbox before we're focusing on putting our shit on other platforms. I think that's
okay. Yeah,
a thing to throw out there. Outwork the problem, which is basically just like we have a lot of problems and we need to
Oh,
put our nose to the
outwork everyone.
outwork everyone. As a
Christian
Detroit Lions
Cage.
fan, it hits the same way as like, stay gritty, stay hungry, that kind of shit.
Hmm.
Um, Speed is learning. Again, I don't like sure, but I don't really know what that fucking implies here.
No, that one's a threat.
Yeah.
That's about
That's about
I Show
it's
Speed.
about I Show Speed. He's learned he
He's
knows where the One
learning.
Piece is and he's gonna go get it.
Yeah.
Makers over managers. This is my favorite one. I think this is the one where I'm like, okay, you made this promise. It's going to be tough for you to keep this because at some point you are a business. You own a ton of studios. At some point, you are undoubtedly going to lay people off. And
Yeah.
as soon as you do that, people are going to point at this and be like,
Yeah.
"Did you? But did you though?" So it is. I don't know. I don't know.
Also,
I don't know.
this is a nitpick, but I hate calling creatives makers. It's just a thing that's been going around, and I want to squash that. But I understand what they're saying,
I think
and
it's just because.
they have to do alliteration. I get it,
Yeah,
but
that's exactly what I was going to
I'm
say.
just saying. Let's not
Because
do that,
what else would it be? Developers over
dickheads.
dick. But they can't call the managers dickheads.
Yeah, you can. You're Xbox. You're the rebels.
That's fire. You got me. And then clarity is kindness. And again, this is a thing that people have complained about with Xbox for the last at least 2 years, which is like it feels like they're going one direction and then they change and they go a different direction. And then market like the messaging of it is all really confusing and it's hard to keep track of what's doing what and what they're saying and who's saying what and what is true. So this is just them being like, whenever we say something, we're going to try and stay true by it. And I think that that's an important thing to say. And so this is all things that they said originally in an internal memo that went out to the Xbox team, everyone involved in the Xbox team. And then they knew it was going to leak because of course it does. So they just blasted the whole fucking thing onto the Xbox Wire, which is their like blog. I don't know if anyone in our audience knows what the fucking Xbox Wire is or gives a shit, frankly. But it's basically just like where they put all their like press releases.
Mhm.
I think that, it's another one of those things where, this part of it, we're bringing back the name Xbox and here's our 10 tenets of how we're going to do so. It's just a big example of like, okay, well, we're saying all the right things and now we have to make good on them. And I like that it's being paired. Like it was literally like, I think 12 hours after the lowering the price of Game Pass thing. So it doesn't feel as empty as a promise anymore. Me instinctively, I don't trust fucking anybody in a suit.
Of course.
And I don't know that I trust them now, but I do think them putting them out in that order is going to instill more trust than if the opposite even.
Yeah.
So they're making a lot of really good moves here, and I'm very interested to see what that does for the Xbox brand, because I think one of the biggest things sort of going against them for the last long time, basically since the Xbox One, is just this like public perception of like, oh, they're just the big company, they don't give a fuck, anything like that. And or like, even early on in the Xbox One, I was like, oh, they don't have games, they don't care about the makers, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. The what?
The creators, the devs. And I don't know, obviously they're a huge company. I do think that they, in terms of like taking care of their studios, did about the same amount of good as like PlayStation or Nintendo or any of these big companies. I mean, the argument could be that any big company kind of sucks, and I don't disagree with that. But I do hope that between this and their, all of their messaging is correct right now. This is, I think, the longest Xbox has gone without sincerely fucking something up in a way that just like blew up on the internet, at least in my feed. I don't know how much people like outside of gaming internet like see the shit.
It's because they know we're keeping an eye on them.
We're keeping an eye on them now. Yeah, you can thank the rise of Xbox on Ready Set Replay, I fucking guess.
Of course, naturally.
But what I will say is like, while I am still pretty tentative and I still need like, I still need them to like prove that this is actually a thing that they're going to stand by for at least a year before I start feeling like genuinely good about the new direction. Although I'm very happy to get the Game Pass price drop. Don't get that crooked. I'm happy about that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
What I have noticed online is that the Xbox fan base has been re-energized in a way that I have not seen in a very long time. Like this is a win that fan base I think really needed. And I think that's really good. I think that's great for them to do that. And I can't, I'm sure, I am confident that something is going to happen. We're going to be like, I don't know about that, like pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that like since the second Asha took over, it's been like nonstop. She took over 2 months ago, and I think every week since then that we had a podcast, she has done something positive for the Xbox brand.
She's trying to make us look like shills. That's why.
She's trying to make us look like fucking assholes, and I don't need any help looking like an asshole.
It's working.
So I'm very positive on that direction, and I hope that she sees it through. I'm still just not trusting of corporations, but yeah, I don't know. How are you feeling about any of this? Do you care at all, even?
Just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Just kind of like, all right, hey, $8 in a month that I'm not paying. That's a win. That's a W.
That's an immediate win that you can take home, right? That's not words on a press release. That's immediate action. That is, I went to the grocery store and my bill was lower. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really good. I mean, every other price in the world right now is going up. So the fact that they were able to lower the price of what was supposed to be the best deal in video games back down to something that is more approachable is, I think, a really good thing.
True. I guess that $8 is just going somewhere else now, isn't it? Going to fucking Peacock has to make its money back because it like lost a shit ton recently.
Yeah. Well, Netflix is raising their fucking price again.
Yeah, Netflix is going up. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, we're not saving the money, but at least we get to spend it somewhere else, I guess.
I'm just gonna take like a month off and pay nothing. How about
Honestly?
that? Just do nothing. Just sit in the dark and let these corpos think about their actions.
Yeah. I mean, I did recently like I do every couple months, but I took like a poll basically of how much I'm spending on subscription services every month, not including rent, because that's a subscription service I don't have a choice about.
That's true.
And I think I'm only sitting at like $60, which considering Game Pass was $30, not bad. So
that's yeah.
Not the worst bill in the world, but then again, I don't tell Netflix. I do share a lot of my passwords with my sisters. Me and my sisters share a lot of stuff. So.
They're listening right now. They all listen to us.
No, we only have like 100 some odd subscribers, and 2 of them are my sisters.
No, but the rest are Netflix. I know
every other one is Netflix.
It's true.
Hey, if you're not Netflix, leave a comment telling me how much not Netflix you are.
Please, that doesn't count if you're Paramount Plus. Either, because we know
legally, if you're Paramount Plus, you have to tell us, or it's entrapment.
We've talked too much shit on Paramount Plus. I know they're listening.
Oh my god, 100%. Anyway, so that's our week. A lot of fun things happening this week. One really not great thing. Not a ton of news, but some really big stories. If you guys want to tell us how you feel about any of those things, you can of course leave a comment on YouTube or Spotify. Those are the 2 places we are. I would love it if you followed us in both places. You don't have to watch in both places, but I would love it if you followed us in both. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McG.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler 8-bit.
And until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Press play, take a trip back in time where pixels and memories intertwine. Come on in, it's time to play. Let's rewind to yesterday. The fun begins, we're here to stay. Ready, set, replay. Come on in, it's time to play. Let's rewind to yesterday. The fun begins, we're here.